You will sell 0 units.
Yeah, you live inside a plastic bag now.
Bad news is always traveling faster than good news.
The data set you get in the manual is not the real world data. And I think it's social media that's done it.
Welcome to the UK series.
Hi everyone and welcome to part of our UK series. We are today in Edinburgh and making a podcast with Barry Sharp, owner of Renewable Heat. My name is Mario Dodic. I'm heat pump trainer and founder of HVAC Education Hub, where we talk about heat pumps. Nice to be here, Barry.
Good morning, Mario.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to Edinburgh.
Yeah, wonderful city.
You like
wonderful
it?
country, yeah.
How much have you seen so far?
Whole city center of the Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And when we were traveling from London by train.
Oh, so that's a good journey.
Yeah, good journey.
You forget Edinburgh's a beautiful city because it's not every city has a castle and a beach a mile away.
Yes, and actually it's different than most of the cities in the Europe.
Yes, not many like this. No.
Yeah, and it's like we are home. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Good.
How about you? Can you tell us something about your company, your background? You are many years in this.
I've accidentally become an expert because I've been at it that long. So I first started fitting heat pumps. Me and my business partner, who came from different places, we were both fitting heat pumps for 20 years. Renewable Heat has been trading for 10 years, and I think between us we're over 1,000 heat pumps we've done. So it's not just air source, we do a lot of ground source. Ground source is very popular in Scotland and has
really?
been.
I don't have so much experience with ground source, but is it good?
I think because Scotland started doing heat pumps very early. So we were doing Scotland was doing heat pumps 25 years ago.
Oh, these residential heat pumps?
Yes, and back then air source wasn't a great technology, ground source was much better. So a lot more ground source were going in. So about 10-15% of our work is ground source still. So I think if you can see the long-term investment of a ground source, you're more likely to go for it. So people that own houses in the centre of Edinburgh which don't have the same available space and they can see the investment, they're more likely to put ground source in.
So the main thing is to bore the holes?
Boreholes, yeah. I mean, we're talking a footprint like that. We'll do most of the homes in Edinburgh.
How about hydronic part? Well, the hydronic part is the same.
It's exactly the same. So you're just splitting it apart.
And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's more constant heat. But it's not so bad with air source because air source is a better technology now. But Edinburgh has a very high water table. If you look at the geology of Edinburgh, if you look one way, you've got hills. Another way is the sea. And like I wore shorts today because it was nice yesterday, but it's raining right now.
Yeah.
So it's always wet in Edinburgh. The geology is sandstone. So sandstone is very porous. So you drill 30 metres in Edinburgh, you hit a lot of water. And because the water is constantly moving, then you're constantly transferring heat. So you can get a lot of energy from the ground.
Just a quick reminder. New online educational heat pump platform is available. It is interactive, mobile friendly and ready to use from your PC, tablet or mobile phone. You can find a lot of videos, assessments and interactive elements. Link is in a description below. And what is your feedback from the customers for ground source?
It just works. I mean, the two parts of it, the ground source works because the hydraulic design's correct, but we don't have because you have a constant source of energy in the ground moving.
No defrosts?
Need no defrosts, which is, you're in perfect climate, Edinburgh, for defrosts. Also, you can squeeze more from a ground source if the source temperature is high. So a ground source is typically, the badge on it, like a NIBI will say 12 kilowatts. That's based on the brine temperature being 0.
Yeah.
But if the brine temperature is higher because you've got constant temperature going past, you can squeeze more out of it. So we can typically get 15, 16 kilowatts out of a single phase supply. So you can squeeze more out of it.
And you are doing also this borehole by yourself or you are partnering with someone?
We've got a drilling contractor, yeah. I've not got a big enough drill bit to go. But I mean, your typical 200 metre borehole will do 12 kilowatts without any problem.
Yeah, and you are your company. You're doing everything. So designing. You're also doing other sorts of renewables, not only heat pumps.
Air source, ground source, batteries, PV, PVT, which is in my house. We'll also do. We have done MVHR. All the guys hate it.
Why?
It's hard. You wouldn't think Ducts with air would be hard, but it's the volume of ducts. And it's the problem we have in the UK is that architects are not thinking about it at design.
And the same is in Croatia.
Yeah.
So mechanical ventilation, heat recovery, especially for new builds, what I realized, because in new builds you have really low fabric heat loss.
Yes.
Ventilation heat loss started to be main thing, and indoor air quality.
Yes.
Because everything is sealed.
Everything's sealed. You live inside a plastic bag now.
Yeah.
But it's the problem is getting all, because it's a lot of equipment.
Yes, and then you need to have false ceiling, and
False
architects
ceilings.
are, I think, the main entrance here.
Yes. Not just that, the space for the unit and in any major ducts going back and forward. And then if you're doing a self-build, it's likely to have steel somewhere.
Yes.
It's another headache. So yeah, it's coming. My dad does a lot of it. My dad repairs a lot of it, and he just sees problems after problems.
So it's more problems than with heat pumps. No one realized.
No one knows. That's the difference, because your MVHR system might not work and you don't really realise.
Yeah,
if the heat doesn't work, you know.
Yes. It's hard to realize that air quality is. You can see that, but you cannot. It's not visible. If something is not working, it's cold.
Yes, in Scotland, a lot of the MVHR was put into social housing.
Okay.
So social housing have to adhere to the latest building standards when everyone else can wait. So what my dad's going into blocks of houses that you pull the filter out and the plastic bag is still on it.
So no one.
2 or 3 years it's never even ran properly. Or the clients are turning off the power because they can hear it whirling. And they go,
Makes sense.
yeah, they can hear it, they turn it off and that's it, it's not working anymore. But what the downside is, they're starting to find mould in some of the ducts, which that means the ducts can't be cleaned properly, they might be taken out and replaced. So,
But the main thing of MVHR is to not have mold in the house. And
not mold hold and don't turn it off.
Yeah.
But they're having a lot of that. So there's a lot of problems in the post, I think, with MVHR. About badly commissioned, badly set up and badly maintained systems.
So similar like with heat pumps.
Heat pumps, yeah.
What about this? You are here more than 20 years, but still looks like we are in early adopting phase.
Yeah. By numbers, we're still in innovator stage, yeah.
By numbers, yes, but by quality?
By quality?
Started to be bad.
I think we're starting to see it now, and I think it's social media that's done it. Because what I've seen, the big change is that everyone's talking to each other now and we weren't talking before.
Yes.
So if I go back 10 years when I was still doing a bit of gas, the only time you would talk to somebody is at the merchants when you're buying your kit. But now, with me and you talk by social media.
Yeah, we met in Frankfurt 3 months ago.
I was shocked to find out you weren't even from the UK.
Yeah, this is the main thing that I'm in Croatia. But this is the power of social media.
Exactly.
And then I'm writing something and you said you are giving this to your guys?
Yes. It's just standard. Guys read that because it was nice and short and sweet, because they're not going to read pages and pages and stuff.
This is what I also realize. Sometimes we are just overcomplicating things. Because, okay, you, me and few of others, we are nerds.
Yes.
For us, it's fine to go deep. But
yes.
For broader audience, maybe 8 out of 10, quality will be fine to reach that. Not 10 out of 10, or not to know all details about ventilation, heat loss, this and that. So but for me, the hardest part is trying to simplify this, because a lot of things are going on.
The job seems like it's starting to split. So the MCS are doing this as well. It looks like it's going to be somebody who designs systems and somebody who installs them. I don't think they're the same person anymore.
In Croatia, it's like that, but I found that it's better than everything is under one company. Maybe not the same person, but for example, Renewable Heat, your company, you have subcontractors, you have designers, but if you can manage all of this will be good, because if not, someone has some other idea in designing. What I realized when I did some designs in Croatia, I want my installers, mine. So guys who I know, and I know that they will do proper job.
And that's the failure that we're finding as we grow. It's this flow of information between what I see and say at the sales point, what the designers installs, and what the engineering installs. That has to be a flow of information between all of it. If we all have the same education standard and know the same rules, then it'll flow nicely. But sometimes I'll do something different at design because I've seen something in the house and that doesn't get passed down. That's one of the failures that we're starting to see.
Yes, but I think you have a lot of experience from the sites, and I think designers, they need to understand that, because we can draw whatever we want.
Yes.
But then I asked Barry, what is going on in that house? Yeah, there is something in the house. We need to go around.
Yes.
A drawing, you cannot see that.
No. Or experience what this house will definitely have a problem here. Yes.
How big is your team?
We have 25 staff in total. So we do, out of that staff is going to be office staff. We've got full-time maintenance. 2 people in maintenance that go and do breakdown servicing.
So only maintenance?
Yes. That needs more now, so it probably needs to be 3 people. And we also have a department, an electrician and a guy that does PV for us.
How hard is to run 25 people?
It's getting difficult.
Yes, you're talking a lot about this, that you need more time because you need to mentor all of these guys. You need to take care of the business, not to go on site, but probably you're going on site, trying to check things.
I'm starting to wonder, you don't see many renewables business. It seems to plateau about the same size as me. And I wonder if there's a reason for that, because it's trying to make sure everyone does the same job. It gets harder and harder. Heat pumps are very complex. Every single job is bespoke. Every job is different. So every job has to create a whole set of new standards for them. So this is a bit that's difficult to make sure that everyone understands that.
And probably the main thing is that for you just did 1,000 houses, but each of this family, this is investment for life.
Exactly. And each one of those jobs, I went through the door at the start and I went through the door at the end. But I don't do that anymore. I might not even talk to them. Might be another person in my business does that. To maintain that quality and to maintain that standard it's getting there, but things slip through quite a lot.
Yes, and you mentioned maintenance, guys. I think the hardest part of the job is this repairing, because my background is technical and service support.
Yes.
And a lot of things are going on. We are talking about designs, this and that, but these guys, they need to understand everything. From refrigerant, electrical part, hydronic. It's really complex job.
Yeah, and no one's really doing it.
Yes.
There's not many people doing it. You can see the main manufacturers in the UK now leaning on British Gas.
Yes.
For this service. So
because they have huge...
They can't manage it, and I sympathise with them. I've complained numerous times about manufacturers being unable to look after their units. But I sympathise as well, because they've got 10, 20 years of units out there, and maybe one person in Scotland.
Yes.
And he can't do it all. And he's likely to get pulled to the new guys who are making silly mistakes, and maybe not to me, who's got a real problem, who doesn't understand. So this is a problem coming, because our service is not about... Historically, in the UK, a service is a safety check, because it was gas.
Yes.
You're making sure that it's not going to blow up or fall off the wall. But that's not a heat pump service. A heat pump service is to make sure it's still running as it was supposed to be running, as designed.
Yes, but even with gas, people don't realize that it's like a car.
Yes.
You need to maintain every year, and heat pumps are more expensive. More expensive to run if something is not proper.
Exactly.
And someone will say, yeah, but on yearly service, on gas, you need to check fluids, this and that. On heat pumps, you don't know anything. But still, heat pump, I think you can spend hours just trying to see what is going on, how it performs.
It's definitely, there's an efficiency check we do to make sure it's running as it was when it was commissioned. So, because the clients are playing with things, the system might not perform as you expect either, because it doesn't matter how you design it. With the heat loss being a classic example, you're designing to a heat loss and a guarantee that heat loss is not how the house performs. Because the heat loss is based on worst case, on all factors multiplied out.
Yes, and static conditions.
Yes, exactly, yes. And we're seeing that in most heat losses are about 30% over what they should be in real world.
Why?
Why?
We're chatting a lot about this, but...
Yeah, I think it's a multiplier effect. So it's a little bit of air change, a little bit of U values being wrong, and a little bit of house not performing. You're also 30% is based on worst case scenario. Yes,
but still I think this 20-30% is maybe not the worst case. I can find in Croatia 200%.
Oh no, this is the good guys are doing 30%.
Good guys so we know everything and we are doing 30%.
Well, that's my takeaway from the show.
Yes.
Was that, well, we knew Open Energy Monitor had been saying it.
Yes.
Heat Geek were now saying it, that after shouting about scops for so long, and they're saying, actual fact, you can bring it back a bit.
Yes.
And who was the other one? It was the area who do the sensors on the radiators.
Yeah, they're
They were saying the same thing, that most systems are over-designed.
So they calibrate sensors wrong because
Yeah, well, they're
wrong inputs.
Well, it was Emma Bowen from IMS trialled in her system. She'd done an MCS calculation, and she thought her house needed to run at 65 degrees to work. She put that system in, it reported back 48 degrees. So again, everything we're designing is probably over. So that service check is also to make sure that you can teach the customer, keep knocking it back, because you're going to save money. Every time you knock it back a couple of degrees, you're knocking at percentages of energy.
And also with existing radiators, probably every home can go with that, but if you calculate you need 70 degrees,
Yeah.
you say, no, it doesn't make sense to install. In reality, you need 50 on the coldest day.
Yes, yes. How do you sell that?
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you sell it? Might be okay.
Maybe okay. Look, what I try to do in Croatia, when someone wants to install heat pump, I said, don't change the radiators. I think it will be fine. You can always change the radiators, because if you have upfront cost of few thousands, it's a little bit hard, especially here you have now time of use tariffs, solar, this and that. Maybe scope is not so important now. maybe.
I'm saying that for years. It's not important. Scop's vanity. I think
because running cost is what you need. Balance between okay, you need
comfort, running cost.
Yes.
That's all that matters. Nothing else. Doesn't matter how you get there. As long as the running costs are cheap and the comfort's there, it doesn't matter how we get there. But yeah, there's a lot of that's a difficult. For years and years, we've been designing these systems for 100%, for 45-degree flow temperature. In actual fact, we might not need it. Well, the Swedes were telling us 15 years ago, don't design for 100%, design for 80%. The last 20%, just use an immersion, because the cost is so minimum.
Yes,
and then,
makes sense.
But you can't do that in the UK because it was abused for years. Because years ago, the Swedes were telling us, Danfoss and Nibi were saying 80% use backup.
They're using that in Nordics.
Yeah. And then we tried to apply the same, but we didn't know our housing stock was nowhere near as good as them.
I realized
80% came about 60%. So then the immersion was running most of the year.
Yes. You have a lot of these conservatory areas, also here in Edinburgh, in London.
Yeah.
Not good insulation. Single glazing.
Apart from the glazing in these buildings, they're actually very, very good.
They're good.
Yeah.
So only glazing is...
The air changes are really low on this. So if anyone owns a house like this beautiful flat you're in just now, the chances are they've already tackled the windows. So they've maybe done the seals and changed the panes of glass, and it's a much better. All that's left is the heat to go through the 3 foot or 900 millimeters of sandstone.
So the walls are good. So.
The walls are very, very good, and the air changes are very, very low because the air can't get through that wall.
But what is the recommendation for air changes here? It's huge.
1.5 to 2, but we've tested it and it's 0.7.
0.7. Do you see that these tests, let's say with door blower tests, you are doing that, you're trying to check, because looks like in reality we don't need so much.
No. There's 3 categories for MCS, about 3 different ages of properties, like pre-2000, up to 2006 and post-2006. I never use pre-2000.
So this is too high?
It's too high. It's too high for any property. And really, it's not when the house was built, it's the standard of the house today. Because it might have been built 200 years ago, but it's been upgraded to current standards.
Yes.
So you've got to assume how it is today. And as long as the windows have been tackled, and nearly all the homes have got loft insulation now, that's enough as you need. A heat pump will work fine on those conditions. I've got loads of houses this age that work great.
And heat pumps work?
Heat pumps work, yeah, they work great in them, yeah, they work great. I did a whole presentation about it at the festival last year, about if I'd done the Sibsey heat loss design for we're talking about a pre-1919 home. Sibsey said 18 kilowatts. And then you take away the air changes and the multiplier effects and change the U values, and it's typically 12. And the ones we've done that we've had open energy monitor on, when we could actually test it, it comes back at 9.
So it's
Sibsey is double what it should be.
And then it's not just double the unit. You need the electricity. You need
everything.
Pipes.
Everything.
like this.
Yeah, and this is when it goes back to our point, is in actual fact the radiators probably were okay to start with, and so was the pipework, if it was only 9 kilowatts and not 18.
You are also in policy making discussions with SNIPEF, with Nathan and so on. So you are also...
That's why I can't get anything done.
Yes. How can you see these things? It's changing because, let's say, Open Energy Monitor, we are talking a lot. We learned a lot from this.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
like, okay, we are doing something not so good, but here we have real data. And probably this board, they can see that also.
So I think as long as heat loss is left at our discretion, it's fine, because just now, if you can justify your assumptions, then it's acceptable. It's when you just go to default, it's a problem. Open Energy Monitor has become the gatekeeper, if you like, because they're also holding the manufacturers accountable for the numbers.
Yes, some of them will chase Tristan, I told them.
Yeah, there's a couple of manufacturers that are quoting numbers, but they're not including defrost. This is something we've known about for years. I've known about for years, because the data set you get in the manual is not the real world data.
Yes, but it's hard also for them. They are designing the units. For example, in Croatia, you have designed outdoor temperatures somewhere -10.
Yes.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
You have defrost around 0.
Yeah.
Everything is fine. But here you have designed outdoor temperature and defrost at the same time.
Yes.
So actually you need maybe this 20% oversizing just because of the defrost.
The problems that everyone's seeing, because it was Simon from Urban Plumbers that raised it first of all. He was complaining about the Valiant's not performing. And I was like, I've got over 150 units out there and I don't see that problem. And it was that exact reason, because I designed for -5. So my design temperature are way past frost. Yes, he's at -2, so he's right in the middle of it.
Yes.
So that's why he was seeing the problem and not me. Yeah.
This is hard to explain, but I think manufacturers, they are also excellent guys in the manufacturers, but it's the hardest thing. I've been working for manufacturers, is you need to take care of a lot of different things.
Yes.
You need to chase sales, which is for sure you need to do this. Technical things.
Yes.
After sales, maintenance.
Yes.
And if you will say, okay, we are really strict about technical things, you will sell 0 units.
Yes.
So you need to play around.
So I guess that's knowledge in industry to understand. You need a little bit of cushion.
Yeah.
But that's a two-way thing, because Simon's heat losses must have been spot on as well. Because this is the problem we have, is that if you're building a margin for the manufacturer because you're worried about defrost, and then your heat loss is also too high.
And then someone is adding additional 20%.
Yeah, then suddenly we don't know where we should be. So that's that. And we're getting better at it as an industry, but that's a problem, because when I go through someone's door to sell a heat pump, there might be 2 people in front of me, and 2 of them are saying 12 kilowatt, and I'm saying, no, 8.
And they will say, but you're wrong.
But I'm wrong, because 2 against 1.
It's hard to sell smaller units. It's nonsense, but it's hard, yeah.
Yeah.
Because people want to be on the safe side. You have 20 kilowatt gas boiler.
Which is a false economy, to be on the safe side with a heat pump.
Yes.
Because everything now oversized. And actually the efficiency isn't as good, because it ends up cycling.
Yes, but we are still trying to explain that.
Yes.
With Open Energy Monitor started to be better, but in reality, I did a lot of these talks. Everyone has the same analogy with a car. So you don't run your car from 0 to 20 and then put a brake.
Yes.
It's a good way, but on installer we did a lot of discussions about training, education, and now we are also doing this. How can you see this? You are long enough in the industry.
Yeah, I think we need to have more standardization of how we do heat loss. It's almost like the better design rules for heat pumps based on the knowledge we have, rather than what this design guides tell us. So there's no way of feeding back this information that you and I know is very on the boundaries. It's only the top guys, the really well connected guys that know this. Not everyone knows it.
But how to pass this to everyone?
Do you pass that down?
Yeah.
Yes. You can't rely on MCS for something like that. So I guess it comes back to continual learning for people doing heat pumps, to know what's changing.
Not only heat pumps, you are selling a whole smart solution.
Smart solution, yeah. There's another.
It's trying to be hard because you have electricity, you have mechanical things, you have hydronic. You need to understand. A lot of software guys in the industry, a lot of end users.
Yes.
They know a lot.
Yes, definitely. So that's a good question as well. What do we do about... The software's getting better for the heat pumps. I don't think we're that far away from not programming a heat pump and the heat pump works it out itself.
But makes sense. AI is everywhere, but in our industry is really slow.
Adaptive heat curves, and let the heat pump understand. You tell the heat pump how comfortable you want to be and let it work it out itself. I don't think we're that far away from being standard on most heat pumps. Just now we're having to add the box, the Haven-wise or the Homely.
Yeah.
I don't think we're that far being integrated.
A lot of good companies now are doing this kind of things.
Yes, and that way you can do tariff and weather compensating properly, adaptive weather compensating, so you know what the weather's going to do. Because in Scotland, I wore shorts today because I thought it would be nice, and it might be nice later on, who knows? Yes. But hopefully my heat pump knows better than me.
AI will know better than you.
Yeah, he'll know better, yeah.
What is interesting in that part is that we are discussing a lot of these things, how to tweak heat pumps. Controls are not so good until now, but probably it will come that manufacturer will take care of everything. So, for example, you have, I don't know, Panasonic, Nibe, whatever, they need to take care of everything. Why? Because a lot of these third-party controls are not performing really good.
Yeah.
This is topic also. Yeah. which is raising how to bridge this gap. We are talking about how to connect designers, installers, distributors, but how to connect heat pump, control, TRV, house.
This is hard. Weather and price, because the price of electricity in the upcoming weather should be dictating what the heat pump does as well.
And you think just software will decide?
I don't think it's that far away. I knew Nibi were saying that at Ish they had something coming where they could predict it. Homely are doing it relatively well, and so Haven-wise doing it relatively well. They'll just check what's coming on the grid. So again, that goes back to our thing about SCOP. It won't matter if the electricity is really cheap. We're just going to run it hard so you can get the house warm.
How about electricity here in Scotland? Renewables are...
Oh, we produce more than 100% of our needs just now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But
we can't get rid of it.
Yeah. This is... Then what to do with it?
Yeah. The grid can't handle it. We keep putting... Scotland's very windy, so we've got lots of wind turbine. So we've got... In the central belt where we are just now, the carbon intensity is generally in single figures. So it's like 1 or 2 grams or 10 grams.
Oh, really?
It's really low. It's the lowest place in the UK. Problem is...
Where to go?
Where does it go? So they are building DC network to Norway and things like that, so you can export it.
Because I read you are paying billions to these providers because...
They shut them down, yeah. The wind turbine companies have been promised a price for their electricity, and if we can't use it, they get paid for it anyway. Mick Walls talks about this.
Yes, but it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. No, but that's the grid's catching up. The grid is catching up, but I think it's now 10, 15 years. I think we've got a problem coming as well. There'll be a point where they're going to say, right, no more heat pumps here, because we can't take any more.
Yes, and what is also interesting that one heat pump is nothing, but if you have 10,000 heat pumps in the neighborhood and you have renewable production, in that way 1 degree temperature is really, really high. So you can play with this.
Yeah.
How think we are far? I think in Croatia we are too far, but here...
So I got talking to a guy who does substations, and he talked about they build a new estate of houses, maybe 500 houses, and they're having to go back and change the substation within 10 years because when they designed that house and estate and that substation, they never factored in electric cars. So the first thing you do when you get a new house is you put an EV point in, and suddenly you had maybe 20% of those houses have EV chargers in it, and the substation couldn't take it, so they have to change it. So taking that as an example, and the fact we can't move power about, we're going to be playing a game of, there'll be a point where we can't do anything with the electricity. So they'll have to start saying no to certain areas. So I wonder, because every time we fit a heat pump, you have to ask the provider, is this okay to put in?
Yes,
and tell them.
And they'll tell you.
They'll tell you.
How many?
Yeah.
What about storage? You think batteries are getting cheaper?
Yeah, I wonder if that's the silver bullet we don't talk about, the the decentralisation of power.
Yeah.
Because just now batteries, I've seen batteries being advertised to me at £750 for like 10 kilowatts, which is nothing.
Yeah.
And how long before you start rolling that old Leaf into your driveway because it's cheap and then plugging that in? There's vehicle to grids now here. Octopus have now released it. Not all cars can do it, but the price of batteries will come down very quickly once you get mass adoption. And I think you'll start seeing recycled batteries come out. You see Ken Bones, he loves ripping cars apart and making batteries out of it.
We did interview with him. Yes. Ken is excellent guy.
Yes. But this is it. The things that we're doing today will become mainstream. I think with Warmer, we're playing with the idea of fitting a battery at the same time as a heat pump is easy, because both are outside, both are going to run past each other with cables and have a new distribution board. So why not do both at the same time? Maybe not do the panels on the roof today, but if you've got that, would unlock tariff control for you and reduce the running costs.
How tariffs are working here?
So we've got lots of good smart tariffs that'll do heat pump tariffs or on-peak, off-peak tariffs for heating, and also cheap electricity at night. There's different ways of doing it. So depending on how your setup is in your house.
So almost everyone is now going in that direction with tariffs?
Well, you can't, yeah. Most of the companies are doing that, have some sort of tariff. So in my house, I've got an EV and I get 5 hours at about a third of the cost. So I run my heating, my hot water, my car during very early in the morning. But I also charge my battery. My battery then, when it comes to the end of that cheap tariff, my battery then runs the house for another 5 hours. So by putting one battery in there, I've increased it off peak to 10 hours. So that's pushing half a day. It's a third of the cost.
And you have your own smart system, or you have something integrated? Because I spoke with Ken, he said he spent 5 years trying to make everything work, and as an end user, I want everything now.
Keep it simple.
Yes.
Keep it simple, stupid, as Kimbo says. I have, only because I've got a slightly experimental system for my heat pump. I've got PVT on my system, so I've got my solar panels, I've got a heat exchanger behind them. So my ground source, I've got a system where it'll switch between using the ground or the panels depending on what the temperatures are better.
Okay, interesting.
So for example, in a really cold day, when the sun comes out, it could still be -3, but the panels will give me 10, 15 degrees brine temperature. And that means my heat pump COP goes through the roof on the coldest day of the year. So when everyone in our air source are running in 2s and 3s, I'm running in 5s and 6s and COPs. And it will switch back and forward.
But PVT is not so widely...
No, I don't think it will become popular either. It's too difficult to do. Again, you want to keep it simple.
Yeah, and what about phase change materials? This is here is really popular.
So sun amps in Edinburgh. Again, these are all solutions for problems. They're not the main problem. The sun amp's going to work for flats, brilliant. Will it work for most houses? Probably not, because it's twice the cost of a hot water tank. So why would you pay twice as much?
So the main thing is it's small enough to put it in.
It's space. It's space saving,
yeah, because water is really huge.
Yeah.
If you store the water, it's huge.
Yeah. So in flats, it's just you can slot it into a cupboard. But I don't know how much. I think it's more of a problem down south in England, where the space is more of a premium. But finding space for hot water seems to be the main issue because Heat Geek talk about it all the time, looking for solutions for hot water. But we don't have that problem. It's very rare that I can't find a space for hot water.
So we are mostly with houses here. They have problems, probably.
More terraced houses, smaller, less space. And they're trying to maximise space. So maybe I've taken a cylinder out 15 years ago and that space is now taken.
What about hybrids?
They've banned hybrids in Scotland.
But it doesn't make sense.
It was because it was being abused. So the policy in Scotland was you could have a hybrid, and then there was an installer in Scotland who was just selling the smallest heat pump with a combi and claiming the full money.
Ah, okay, this was...
So they were like, how do we manage this? And I thought the easy way is just to say no.
So everyone is always trying to find...
find a workaround.
Find a workaround.
There's a space for hybrids. The thing is, I don't necessarily think you need hybrid.
Yes, but you know why when could work? Because if you have, I don't know, gas boiler, which is working, And then you said, okay, we'll design heat pump at 85, 90%. In reality, it will be 100 because we have all of these factors. On paper, you will say, yeah, it's 89 or 90%. And then you have just two valves, okay, just in case. In reality, you never need. Also in Croatia, we have really cold winters, but cold on paper. It's never too cold. I always told, just put two valves, leave your gas system, and no one ever sees.
Technically, that's not a hybrid, because a hybrid system has to be all connected.
No, it's connected, but let's say technically it's not. But as you said, you don't need maybe gas, but just for safety.
We've done that numerous times with people who said they didn't want to get rid of their gas boiler and says, right, I'm going to put two valves here. If something goes wrong, open the valves, turn the power back on.
I'm never wrong.
And I got a phone call a year later to take it out because it's never been used.
Yeah, this is the case. Just from the policy point of view, makes sense, but.
So you think the delay in uptake is people's not comfortable with the technology yet?
Yes, just because we are always talking about it's too complicated because what you want? You want cozy home? That's it. You don't want to think what to do. And also I discussed this here with a lot of guys. Bad news is always traveling faster than good news.
So I'm seeing something in Scotland with my installations which has given me confidence, is that we're now on the second and third tier jobs. So I've maybe fitted a heat pump in someone's home in a town, and then a year later I'm fitting somebody else in that town, and then 3 years later it's two people on the same street that I'm doing, but they've all talked to each other. So they've all seen their neighbours fitting heat pumps, they've all seen them work, and now that's starting to run away. So it's going from 1 to 2, and it'll go 4 and 8 and 10. So that's how you get the exponential growth. It'll not be by what's in the Telegraph or the Daily Mail, it'll be what your neighbours and your family have done. And once they do 1 or 2 years, it'll start running away. And you can see it in the UK numbers, you can start to see this curve. We've talked about this curve for 15 years. It's only just starting to come now.
But no 600,000.
No 600,000, no. The barrier is going to be finance, because not everyone's got that money sitting about.
Yes.
But then maybe if we offset the upgrade work, or we can convince everyone the upgrade work is not necessarily needed, or maybe the upgrade work's not needed because we can run at higher temperatures, that'll be enough to run.
Yes. And then you can not easily, but just one by one. Remove boiler, put heat pump. More or less you don't need to change everything else.
Yes.
If you know what is going on.
Yes. And then you come back, there's an incentive for them to upgrade next year, because hang on, I can maybe save £100 this year if I change these two radiators. Because now we have the data.
Yes.
There's definitely something about that. It's how to sell that and how people are convinced. Because then to the customer it'll feel like I'm just trying to fit the expensive bit now and run away.
Yes, but we need more responsibility.
Yes.
So if you see that doesn't make sense, I can remember when the war in Ukraine started in 2022, and we have a lot of flats, apartments in Croatia with gas boilers.
Yes.
With individual gas boilers. And one old guy came to Panasonic and said, "Oh, heat pumps." I said, "Look, with 10 times price of the gas, doesn't make sense for you to spend 15,000 euro. You don't have that money."
Yeah.
So this is, I think, kind of responsibility, because if we are pushing everyone to heat pumps, net zero, this and that, I think we can make more bad thing than good thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
What you explained, just trying to, and not one size fits all.
Yes.
Especially, okay, you said phase change material, it's good. You have an apartment in center of London, you have money, you don't have space, no brainer.
Yes.
But if some rural house in Scotland, why to push that?
Why go through that? I think currently, I wrote a piece about this recently on LinkedIn talking about the death of the medium-sized business.
Yes, this was interesting.
Yeah, and there's a lot of conversations since then. It feels like that we're all selling to the same customer, so the same archetype of customer. I think people buying heat pumps just now are people that are environmentally motivated. I always joke that I look for the Birkenstocks at the front door. If I see Birkenstocks, I'm selling a heat pump. Yeah. Or you drive up and you see the Tesla, you're like, yes, I've got a heat pump here.
Yes. These are, let's say, early adopters, IT guys.
Environmentally motivated, or they're coming to the retirement age, so they're trying to bring the bills down now, or they're doing an extension. And I think, if I look at the numbers on the MCS database, the amount of heat pumps going in per month has pretty much been the same for 2 years, but there's now more players. Era weren't here 2 years ago, British Gas weren't selling heat pumps 2 years ago. There's new competitors, like Sean, who's a competitor of mine, who's recently in the game. So these are all people that are all fighting for the same customer base. And this is what it feels like. Beforehand, we could afford to pick and choose what leads we done. I have to chase every single one to get it now. I think that's just because we're running out of people to sell to. There'll always be that same amount every month of people available to sell to.
But still we are missing a lot of engineers. How this make it?
How do we get to the mass adoption? Yeah, so that's, again, it goes back to finance. A different way to finance it. If I said to my wife, shall we spend 10 grand on a heating system? There's no way.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. She got redundancy. She just got made redundant this week and she's spent it straight away on a holiday. I'm going on holiday tomorrow.
Yes.
She will not think about a heating system. So how do you sell to those people? So it has to be, you're going to be better off and you're going to be more comfortable. You can't just be the same, it has to be better for both. That has to trip them over.
And how to do that? Million dollar question.
Comfort's easy because it's something we don't talk about enough. The feedback I get, and especially in these older houses, in the UK, you've been conditioned to react to temperature. You wait until you're cold and then you go to the wall and you click the dial. Or then you're too hot and you'll click it back down. And that's how we've been conditioned for years.
But it's not comfort.
It's not comfort. You wait until you're cold and then before comfort. A heat pump is just, the feedback I get from all the houses is, once they've got it set up, they never touch it and they're always comfortable. If we can get that message across, that they're going to be comfortable in their house and it's going to cost less, there's an incentive for people to go.
And you know what is also interesting? I spoke about this. We have in Croatia a lot of new builds with tunnel for heating, with heat pumps, but in new builds you have really low heat loss.
Yes.
In old buildings, makes more sense to install heat pump. It's slightly counterintuitive, but you are spending more kilowatt hours of heat energy.
Yeah.
And then on more kilowatt hours, if you can reduce this, payback period is faster.
Yes, more of a financial gain. Yeah.
Yes.
You also see your heating seasons longer on an older property.
Yes, because
it doesn't hold the heat as well. Yeah. Because we were when we done a couple of years ago when I put my system up, it was me and Damo that were head to head as the best plumbing system for a year. And it just became gamified because I was just winding them up. But then a couple of things came to realisation that my heating season is a lot longer because I'm further north than him. And I'm also 100 metres up. Yes. And I'm exposed. So I noticed that my heating was on a lot longer than his and for longer into the year. And I was like, yeah, this is why anyone in Scotland with a better system will look like it's performing better because it's running longer. It might not be. It's just costing more. Costing more as in compared to down south, not compared to what I had before.
Of course. One of the last question message, how to scale online learning. It's really hard because you said that you are reading mine articles, you are doing something, I'm doing something. We are doing something now to try to be more interactive because for years everyone thought, in-person training is the best one. Which I think, is the best, but how many people can you train in here?
It's hybrid.
It's hybrid.
Yeah, it's getting people motivated.
How to motivate someone to learn?
Exactly. So, my dad is now president of SNPF, which is the Plumbers Federation of Scotland. His task this year, his goal, is to try to promote continuous learning, and it's almost like we should be promoting as within heat pumps a continual professional development, like a CPD type things that you're constantly learning. I think what's motivated most of the training for our industry is because you see your peers learning things and you're trying to keep up with them. The customers are picking up on technical excellence. So if I go through a door, I can always generally convert a sale because when I go through the door, the customer understands I have better technical knowledge compared to somebody else. So there's an incentive there, but how do you get the masses? Because we're all very unique, that we're highly motivated. So how do you motivate the masses?
I don't know. You know what you said, it's true, because we touched this point with Mick Wall, with these homeowners. In every episode I mentioned the homeowners. If you are an installer or designer or whoever, and you came to Mick Wall's house, and if you don't know facts,
yeah, you're gonna get shot down. You get shot down. I think I would get shot down in Mick's house. I think Damo got shot down in Mick's house.
yes, but this is interesting, because homeowners are very educated. Mars has renewable heating.
Yes.
This could be really good motivation. So you want to go at that people's houses with kind of a knowledge.
With my engineers, if they asked to do a course, I just say yes, go and do it. And it wasn't until one engineer was motivated to do it, and everyone else seen him do it, they were like, I'll do that. So I just leave the door open for people. If you want to do a training course, just name it, go and do it. I'll pay for it, I'll give you time off, go and do it. Because it benefits me tenfold.
Yes.
But if I told them to go and do it, they probably wouldn't be as motivated.
We'll be back in a conversation in a few seconds. Just one reminder. We launched a new online educational platform, Heat Pump Bootcamp. You can learn at your own pace on your PC, mobile phone or tablet. You will find a lot of interesting videos, assessments, interaction and quizzes. Feel free to reach out and to check. Link is in the description below. So you think kind of a gamification?
Gamification of training, yeah.
Yes, but like you said with you and Damon, so it's interesting because people are competitive.
Yeah.
They want to compete with each other.
Installers, for me, it's about the conversations on the aisles and not on the stand, because I learn more on the aisles talking to my peers and what they're doing and what's changed. But how do you, again, it's only as highly motivated people that are doing that.
But probably we also came to this phase in some years when whole mess of the people, because let's say there are 100, 200 of us, maybe talking about that, how many engineers you have across the country?
Yes.
Thousands.
Yes. So you've got the senior guys like us that can push it down to our own engineers. Training bodies.
Training bodies. Good question for you.
Yeah. Or even got... It'd be good to see heat pump associations, SNPF, not mandate it, but strongly recommend continual learning.
Do you think if you mandate, it's somehow like you're pushing?
Yeah, that mandate's pushing, isn't it? I don't know. What ideas have you got?
We are trying to make something to be more interactive.
Yeah.
I showed you, so
we've shown that was good.
Yeah,
that was good. The articles are good. The articles are short enough, but single topics, enough to absorb.
Yes. And
because when they're absorbing it when they're flicking their phone at night.
Yes, it's like I told you, gamification.
Yes.
I spoke with Ken also. He said a lot of us guys, we are dyslexic.
Yes.
You have a lot of text everywhere.
Yes.
So somehow to put some visuals, it's hard to simplify things.
You will learn different ways. You have to do it different. You have to either in person and visually and
videos, articles and so on. I think it's more than enough. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me here. Next time in Croatia.
Croatia is.
You have open call, so you can come. Thank you, Barry. Thank you everyone for listening. Check our other videos from UK series and see you.